You're probably like, why are you in the bed? Because I'm freezing. It's really cold in my house. But that's not why we're here. Um, Good day. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're deciding to watch this. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday today that I'm filming this. Filming, recording, live, whatever. You know what I mean. There I stumbled upon two things, for lack of a better word, that are happening currently, and it's reminding me. Let me see if there's a way I can prop this up. Hold on. Okay. It's reminding me of how Black people really do not like accountability. Black people do not like taking accountability. And I feel like that is probably a big reason why a lot of us are where we are, because we don't like to take accountability. God forbid somebody holds you accountable. And this goes for Black women and Black men, but I'm going to speak more on the women because I'm a woman myself and I'm not going to drag men. But there's a situation, or there was a situation recently where and I want to speak about not just accountability but enablers, because I realized in the Black community people love to enable people, and that enabling and accountability goes hand in hand, because they don't hold people accountable, they just enable them. Oh, it's nothing, that's just the way that it is. That's just... No, I don't subscribe to that. Me personally, in my life, I don't. Oh, that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that's just the way that they are. Da-da-da. I don't play that in my life. I don't play that. I'm very quick. If one thing about me, I'm the type of person, if I'm having encounters with somebody, if I'm speaking to somebody, if I meet somebody, whatever, doesn't matter how old you are. You could be a little ass kid, respectfully, or you could be a grown adult that's even older than me. If I notice that their method of operation is a certain way and they're used to that, I will be the first one to let you know I don't play that. Whatever you think you're doing on your side and you think it's okay, I'm not subscribing to that. One second, y'all. I'll be very quick to either hold you accountable or to let you know directly, I'm not playing with it. Maybe especially with Black women. And I want to say with older Black women, especially because older Black women like to do this nice nasty type of thing where they're rude to you because they want to, like, how do you say it in English, like they want to like test you to see how you're going to react. I will give you the reaction you want, and I'll tell you I don't play that. Don't fuck with me. I might let it slide the first time because I'm just trying to see. I'm also testing you, because I will play dumb just to see how someone will behave around me. And then the next time I'll let you know, don't do that. Don't behave like that. Don't speak to me like that. And when you do that, when you're a person that holds people accountable for their actions and you set boundaries, which I talked about in my last live, people will look at you like you're crazy because everybody is used to this person behaving a certain way. I'm not going to allow you to treat me like that, because I love myself enough to protect myself, to set boundaries with you, to let you know you're not going to treat me like that. You're not going to speak to me like that. And if you continue, there will be consequences. And people will take that as a test. People will take that as a test, like you're trying to call their bluff, like, no, babes, I'm dead serious. You don't want to have those types of problems with me. And I'm not even saying this in a threatening way, but it's like, because people feel, especially older Black women, they feel like they can speak to you a certain way or treat you a certain way and you can't do the same with them. But I don't, my my consequences are rated E for everyone. So But back to what I was saying. Um, Accountability. I don't know what it is about us black people. Like we just like to we don't like to hold people accountable for their actions. We like to just enable them and allow them to do what they're doing and they never face a consequence. And it's quite unfortunate because those people walk around the world feeling like they never get to face consequences until somebody until they reach reality, they hit reality, until reality hits them and they realize that you're not invincible. You're not above the law. You actually have to um, be subjected to your own consequences. What goes around comes around. You're not above the law. You're not above God. You're not God. Whatever you do will come back to you. But um, I don't know if y'all have seen. There was basically, long story short, there was another ATL. The ATL hairstylists have done it again, and this lady was sharing her experience, and the hairstylist is playing the victim, and surprisingly, unsurprisingly, other hairstylists are agreeing with the hairstylist that's in the wrong. And it's like, this is why, as a community, and I don't mean as a community, like, because community is a facade, but as a people, as black people, we can't move forward because nobody wants to take accountability. People love to enable people. And the reality is, I feel when we're able to identify or we're able to relate to people that are in the wrong, it feeds our ego with the fact that if they're in the wrong and I say that they're in the wrong, but I have similar attributes to them or I do similar things that they do, I'm in the wrong too. And that hurts my ego to admit that. So I'm not going to admit that this person is in the wrong. Let me agree with them because I don't want to hold myself accountable. It's quite concerning. Like, it's so concerning. And then, besides that, I believe I've seen some clips of it, but I've never watched Deontay Kyle's podcast, but I've seen a few clips of like his podcast, and I believe most recently, from what I'm gathering, and I could be wrong, I could be misquoting, he said something about when a man approaches a woman, it's part of his responsibility to make the woman feel comfortable, as in like not overstepping her boundaries and not making her feel like she's obligated to, speak to him, or that she's obligated to give her his number, or give him her number wait give him her number or stuff like that. And I saw some comments where some men were like, "Oh well, we all have trauma, and that's not my responsibility. I don't have to tiptoe around I don't have to tiptoe around getting to know you," or something like that. Really? Like, and to me, Deontay Kyle seems like one of the few people that have a podcast that is actually like a whistleblower in the sense of, like I said, he holds people accountable, especially black men, because he is a black man. And it's just like, God forbid a man has a little emotional intelligence. Like, it's crazy to me. Not even crazy for lack of a better word. The way that people just refuse and refute information that just does not feed their ego, and they just want to feel, they want to feel like they're big and bad. They can do bad by all by themselves. They you know, they're always in the right. They can never be wrong. A broken clock is right twice a day. Twice. Twice a day. So, it's but all of these things, accountability, all this stuff, it starts with holding yourself accountable in order to hold other people accountable, or to even attract people over, to attract people around you that hold themselves accountable, we first have to be able to hold ourselves accountable and literally sit ourselves down and be like, nah, I was bugging out. I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't a good decision. I probably could have went about that a little bit better. I probably could have addressed that situation a little bit better. Stuff like that. Being able to have those accountable conversations with yourself. With yourself. And being able to admit that you're wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. You make a mistake and you learn from it and you move forward. Where the problem comes is when we keep making the same mistakes. That's when it's a bigger problem. Now it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Because if I keep making the same mistake, I keep choosing the wrong friends, I keep choosing the wrong job, I keep choosing the wrong opportunities, at that point it's no longer a mistake, it's a choice. It's a choice. I'm doing it consciously on purpose. And then I have to get then at that point I have to get to the point to say, what is it about myself that I feel I don't deserve better? Why am I self-sabotaging to choose the lesser option, the option that does not align with my values, the option that does not make my nervous system feel regulated? Why do I decide to choose that option over the better option, or choosing myself? And then you'd have to explore that inner work as well. But it's just like enabling enabling behaviors. People, like, this is why I feel, to go back to the women like to have these friend groups, because all they do is go around chirp 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 back and forth to each other, spew the same nonsense. Nobody's being held accountable. Nobody is telling the truth. Nobody is really willing and able to grow, because they don't hold each other accountable. They just want to enable weird and crazy behavior, which is why, and more time, especially when it's a friend group, like if it's like maybe like two friends, but if it's like a friend group, 9 times out of 10, let's say it's like 4 friends, 9 times out of 10, 3 of those friends are not actually friends, because they have some type of secret animosity towards another, in one way, shape, or form, that they don't want to admit. But when we're able to have these open and honest conversations with ourselves, one thing I will always parade on this page, on this YouTube page, on my YouTube page, on my TikTok, anywhere, everything starts with self. You're more likely to change your environment if you change yourself. Because everything, I feel, a lot of the things that we see presented in the people around us that we do not like is a bit of a reflection of ourselves. A reflection of ourselves, and we are what we attract. So if I keep attracting toxic people, if I keep attracting toxic friendships, toxic workplaces, I have to go back to square one and ask myself, what is it in me that's attracting this type of stuff? I remember one time I had a conversation with my therapist. This was a few years back, and I was like, am I the drama? Am I the problem? And she let me down easy. She was like, no, you're not, but like, you need to ask yourself why you keep making these choices. And the bottom line was me. That's the thing. The common denominator is always going to be yourself, no matter what, in every situation. As much as, yes, some people are manipulative, they're liars, they're abusive, etc., the bottom line is always you. So if these situations keep coming up, keep happening, it it's a call to yourself to really do that inner work, to figure out, get to the bottom of what the heck is happening. Like, what is really happening? So yeah, accountability is something in the Black community, especially um, in the African community. God forbid. A lot of the adults, the aunties, the people that are older than us, they feel like they're never wrong. They never apologize. They're always right because they're older and they're wiser. Like, no, you're not wiser because you're old. There's some older people that are not very wise at all. Age is just a number. You could be on this earth for 80 years and do less than somebody who's been on this earth for 18 years. Your age does not contribute to your wisdom. Will we still give you a certain respect because you're older? Of course. However, being older does not give you the excuse to not be held accountable, especially when you're enabling, manipulative, abusive, etc. So, yeah, those are my little tidbits about accountability. Until us black people can hold ourselves accountable for our own issues and stop blaming outside factors. That was another one that Deontay Kyle spoke about, that some of these things like institutionalized racism, stuff like that, it's what was it? He said something like it's not, oh, that like sometimes black men don't want to take accountability in the sense that they blame stuff on women when we're going through the same shit. Institutionalized racism, the us having to work twice as hard to go half as far. We're under the same we in the same boat, quite literally. But until we're able to take accountability, which accountability is a scary thing for a lot of people because, again, like I said, it's ego. Till we're able to take accountability for the fact that we might be a contributing factor into the places that we are or what we're going through, how do we expect stuff to change? We got to stop blaming outside people for our problems and look inwardly. If the one thing, like I said, one thing I'm going to tell you on this channel is you need to start working on yourself. Listen to yourself, talk to yourself, have conversations with yourself, hold yourself accountable, love on yourself, care for yourself, nurture yourself. All that energy that you're pouring out into other people, pour it right back up into yourself. It's easier said than done. It's a journey. It took me a while to get there, and I'm still on the journey as well. However, the more you focus on yourself, the better. And stop blaming other people for your situations and make the best out of what you have. Do better for yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Set some boundaries. Because more time, people, certain situations happening to us is a mirror or a reflection of the lack of boundaries that we have with others. If I had better boundaries, maybe I wouldn't have been in this situation. Y'all, sorry, my dog is dreaming. I don't know if y'all can hear it. But anyways, this was just a quick little live because I was gonna make another TikTok on it, but it's too long of a topic for me to expand in a TikTok, in a 10-minute TikTok, because we've been on live for almost 20 minutes now. But yeah, takeaways from this video: get to know yourself a little bit better. Once you get to know yourself a little bit better, you'll have the, is it logos? No, ethos, pathos. You'll have the credibility to hold yourself accountable. Because how can I hold myself accountable if I don't know myself? Begin to, one place I tell people if they want to start really working on themselves, begin to talk to yourself. As you're talking to yourself, you're talking to your higher self, you're talking to your inner man, you're talking to your inner spirit. Begin to have conversations with yourself out loud. Whether it means you make a little like Snapchat video or you record it on your phone and you don't post it, all these things, don't post it, but have these conversations with yourself. It's the same as journaling, depending on the way you prefer to communicate. I don't necessarily like to journal because I'm a big talker. I like to talk, so I will rather like video journal with myself. But now I've accelerated to where I talk to myself out loud. I always have conversations with myself because as you're speaking to yourself, you're speaking to the God within you. Get to know yourself a little bit better. You'll be able to to talk through some issues, you'll realize you have the answers. The answers to your issues are within you, because God is within you, and God will give you the answers. That is what I will leave you with today. Hope y'all have a great day. Stay safe.